So here I am again, JMC, and this is Studio Talk number 10 or thereabouts. It's the 2nd of September 2013, and it's turned out to be a sunny day. It's getting on to noon, I would guess. And I'm in the garden again, which is maybe my biggest joy. And it's not because it's a garden, but because this is where life is unfolding in many different ways, and visibly, and also, well, there's not that much to smell, although some things do smell pretty good. Anyway, this is a place where life happens, and I'll give you a look to prove that this is not really a garden which is meant to impress by, how could you say, to impress with floral fireworks or something like this, just all over the place. Beautiful flowers, flowering bushes and so on, and everything tidy and well kept. Not at all. I've come off this board. On this board, this was the first time I wrote this, other than on a piece of paper. This thing, which I think is, like I've already said, central to my way of approaching art and life. And I'll read it in German. Form entsteht. Form vergeht. Das Licht riecht nach Erde. In English again, that's form appears, form disappears. The light smells of earth. And so the important word for me, or at least the problem word for me, is the word of form, which I don't think is a very nice sounding word. But I said yesterday in my studio talk that form has to do with order and Gestalt and pattern, and this is what we constantly observe in nature, what we call nature. I prefer calling it in material life, let's say, life materialized. It's also this form, and especially in its aspect as order, it's oh, I forgot what I wanted to say. Form in its aspect as order. How do you like that? Anyway, let me give you a look at the garden. It'll come back to me. Here, the beautiful bamboos, which grew this summer. Here, the irises, which I tried to protect unsuccessfully from the slugs. Here, a kind of summer lilac, they call it. The butterflies love it, and the bees also, and it smells wonderful. And it's huge, this thing. People keep saying I should cut it all the way down, and I never do. But maybe I will. Oh, look high up, you can see a jet plane. Beautiful sky. And here is something that grew all by itself. I have no idea what it is. It's on the hut, which is like the tool shed. And here are some bricks that came from the house. I still haven't found a use for them. And what we couldn't see in the video last night was my writing desk, which at the moment is serving as a place to store and keep the wood dry that I want to make, that I want to use for the oven, the hearth. in the winter. Here is where the ginkgos hang out. Yeah. Here the oldest one, which had a really hard time because of ants last year and this year. And this is like all that's left of it. It's about 8 years, 9 years old maybe. I planted it myself, like most of the ginkgos. And I'll show you the rest of the garden another time. As you can see, the goldenrod is coming. And this is the area in front of the house, the hut. And like I said, this is the interesting thing about having a place like this to come to, and this apparent disorder and the occasional order shows that what we call life is a flow from order to disorder to order to disorder, and all the states in between. Here's the mirror, maybe you can see me. Here I am. And so it's too bad I forgot what I wanted to say back then, where I said form in its aspect as order. Well, this is something to which we aspire. This is something we need, because it gives us a good feeling, you know, just like the automatic sense of things being of beauty when you see a particular order in things. And it could be a man-made order, it could be a living order. And here's something in between. Is this a man-made order or a living order? Here's the chestnut tree I brought back from the Tessin, and it wilted practically immediately. And I had a second one that hasn't been doing very well, but the first one is coming back, so I'm going to put it into a pot. Here's the pot waiting for it. The dog you hear is Fritz. He's a Saint Bernard, the neighbors. Here you see a wood frame. This was made by Brigitte's father, and I'm keeping it there because I'm hoping that a spider will make its web in it. So it's there to catch a spider web, if you can imagine that. And that might inspire very far-reaching thoughts in terms of what art is, and the need of art to be framed, of capturing order and meaning and holding on to it. Here's another frame. Yellow paint on a piece of paper, what was left over from painting a piece of wood. And here's this thing I want to show you, which I bought at the last flea market on Saturday. And it's interesting because you see these things, they're like signs, like the letter K and A. And all around in this really nice brown color scheme with white and black. Really, I really like it. And then you see the same pattern here in this, what looks like a bird on a branch. You've got the K and you've got the A here. And on the other side, you've got it again, this time as a sign here. Although, does that look like a K? No, it doesn't really look like a K, but it does somewhat look like the figure on the front. It says Christmas 1934. So let's see if I can hang this up again. Well, here you are, witness to a case of disorder. Oh wow, the thing broke clean through, and here are the pieces. Well, what do you say to that? I say it's too bad, but the thing was a little bit damaged already. Well, I'll put the pieces together and scan them later. Is this a sign? Here the nice French flag again. I'm thinking a lot about this painting because, like I said, I want to write an article about the iconography. I mean, what it's about, which is, as I say, Tobit and his wife Anna. And there's so many interesting parallels. One of them is that this painting for several hundred years had a companion piece which also had a little man in a room with a spiral staircase, and they were given the same title: philosopher, philosopher in meditation, philosopher in with an open book, or whatever, in contemplation, or just philosophers, and which was a complete misreading of the actual subject, because this is neither a scholar nor a philosopher. There may be one book on the table, but that's about it, and that's not very much for a scholar or a philosopher. And so the chances of it being Tobit are very, very high, because there's a woman here, and there's possibly is or was a woman in the staircase whom you don't see anymore in its present state. Anyway, it's this thing about twinship,